Hey, this is your girl Queen T,
Hey,
aka China White.
and this is Kimberly.
Hey Kim.
Hi, Ty. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling today?
Oh, I feel good today. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. So what I did want to talk about today is, because I feel like we just talk about real topics, deep topics, and maybe even uncomfortable topics. Um, One thing I didn't notice is I do like it was this YouTuber I was watching, and she became a single mom. If you hear my cat, I apologize. He's running around, but she became a single mom. Like she was with a guy for a long time, and they had two kids together, and then she became like a single mom, and she kind of was going on this rant of how she feels as though like it's this like hate towards like even in a dating world, it's this like hate towards single moms. And I pretty much noticed that. Like I have noticed that. Like I did notice that. And I guess you and me, I guess we aren't single moms, like we are in relationships and stuff like that. So I know it's probably is a different take and a different topic. Like it's a different take from us, but I feel like in any moment like we're so close to being like you like at any moment you could be a single mom, you could be married, get divorced, and you're considered a single mom. And a single mom doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing it by yourself, because it's also that thing out there. It could just mean you're just single and you know what
True.
I'm saying. But I always feel for just women and moms in general, because I'm saying I could be a single mom. Like, what I'm saying? I could be doing like being single, and being out there in that dating world. Like, have you noticed like that it has been like a hate train or a coming at single mom train, like specifically moms? Like it's always like moms instead of dads, but moms.
I think it's kind of like a I think it's kind of not been that way, but I feel like they're judged more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a little it's judgmental there. It's a little bit of judgmental there. And I wouldn't. Yeah, I think it's like judgy, like, oh, she's a single mom, like, you know. I think they when you think of a single mom, you think of like, like, oh, what happened? I don't know. I think it's always been like that way. I think it's always been where um it's like a judgmental thing with single moms as far as them not, like, I guess, like having the support. And maybe, you know some people may see that as like, oh, what happened to the dad? Like, it can be, I mean, it's different circumstances, but yeah, I think that is like, it's a judgmental. I think that people become like judgy.
Which is kind of crazy. And one thing I didn't notice is like I feel like there are some men and women, they'll do like a tweeting thing of like, oh, like just all like, and I see it all the time, like it's like they're always kind of saying like, oh, I can't be with a single mom, or I can't be with a
Yeah,
man that has kids or a woman that has kids. And it's like then they start like, okay, well, I can be with one, but that's your kid, like that got nothing to do with me. And it's just like it's the immaturity. Like I always kind of say, like with social media, it can people could be very immature. And I'm just like, listen, when I was what before I had a child, like I was always pretty much open to dating people, but my preference was someone that didn't have a kid. I didn't have a kid. So if
I
that's your
do.
preference, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. Like if that's your preference at that time, that's cool. Like, I was single, like it's no reason, like, I was young. So if I'm actually trying to have a kid with somebody, I wanted it to be their first kid. But
Right.
you know
Well,
what I'm saying?
I felt like that experience. I looked at it as, well, I want us to both have that same experience.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was like that too.
Yeah, and nothing's wrong with that. That's why I said, like, if people are out there and that's what they want to do, cool. But you don't have to shame somebody and saying like, oh,
Right.
And especially if you never tried it before, you're just shaming it or thinking that they're desperate or thinking that they want you to be a part of their kid's life. Like just thinking negative about it and you never even tried it out. Or like that's why I'm like, dang, is it not people out here? Like I know a lot of people out here that don't got kids. Like, why are you waking up every day tweeting about like I don't know if it's a thing of you trying to put someone down. You get what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to make them feel bad, because we already know there are single moms,
Yeah.
moms that aren't single that are literally like bosses out here. Like you know what I'm saying? Like got their own, doing their own thing. Even single dads out here or dads that do have kids and aren't single. We already know like you can't judge base things off of just having kids because to me kids can push you like to do be the best that you can be. You know what I'm saying? I just noticed it and it's kind of like why do we got to shame? And it's always specifically I think more so women, but then you do see people come at like, or I can't be with a man that has kids. And that's okay. But why do
Yeah.
you gotta bash them? Like make them what? You think you're gonna make them regret having kids? Like,
Uh,
no. You know, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that like people don't understand that. I think that people who don't have kids, they don't get it. So they're gonna be like, oh yeah, well, even because it seems insensitive.
right,
I mean, like versus you having a kid, you're not having a kid. When you don't have a kid, it really doesn't seem as insensitive. But once you have a kid, it's like, wow, how can somebody say like, oh yeah, I don't want to be with somebody? It's just, it's really, it's a little just it is childish.
yeah, very, very
Think about
childish.
it, it's childish. So yeah, I think like, yeah, I think it's just really childish to, because like I said, you take that child aspect out of it, they don't see it as that. They just see it as like, oh yeah, I'm not dating nobody with no kids.
Right,
Like, but it's just like that. You're not gonna like. I love my baby. Like,
exactly. And that's the right, and that's the thing. Like, also with moms out there that are single, what they gotta understand is that there is somebody out there for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't ever feel discouraged or feel like dang this is hard like people aren't going to accept my kid or no like especially if you're doing things all the right way you'll find a man that either has a kid too or you'll find a man that doesn't you know what I'm saying that's more mature more just more mature that person that likes kids like don't and I just felt like I just feel for people out there because like I said it could be anybody it could be me it could be you know what I'm saying like and I
yeah,
just say I always say just wait on God because
very
like
true. True.
I don't like I always just feel like I'm never going to like who's for me will be for me. The right
Yeah,
person will be for me. And I trust that God is going to do that in my life as far as anything. You know what I'm saying? So I feel
yeah,
like especially for the moms that are out there that are believers, it's like don't be overwhelmed by what you see because especially when you're out there in that dating world it's like if you're waiting on God and you just say listen like who's going to be for me is going to be for me they're going to accept my child because they care and love me they'll care and love my kid you know what I'm saying like you know
yeah.
um
I mean, because like if I like me personally, like even though I'm not like a single mom, if I, were to be, oh my goodness, God forbid, if I were to be,
mhm,
but I mean, I would be like, I want to be with somebody who has a kid
right
because they don't like, it's just a different type of understanding that a person would have. Like honestly, it is really a different type of understanding that a person that don't have a kid wouldn't understand. Like, oh yeah, I want to go to sleep with I want to go to sleep with my kid. Like, I want to read my kid a bedtime story.
right
You know, okay, whatever. But a person with a kid, they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, of course, I understand that. Like, that's good. That's they will applaud you.
yeah
Like, they'll be like, oh my goodness, that's good. But they'll be like, oh, a person who wouldn't have a kid, they'd be like, oh, okay, whatever.
right
So
it's
I
kind of like they can't relate right
like, yeah. So it's just like, yeah, it's just like I honestly I would prefer, you know, because we go through the same thing.
mhm,
So I mean, I do understand like somebody with no kids not wanting to Like I understand their perspective, even though it's a childish perspective.
Right.
I mean, I understand it because they don't understand. They don't understand a life that a person with a child lives.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would say that too. Like if that would be my preference would be someone that has a kid because I feel like they can understand me more. You know, it's just more of an understanding.
For
And
sure.
yeah, and sometimes when you're dealing with people that don't have them, they tend to not. It's not even that they don't understand. Some of them don't try to understand. It's like, oh,
Very
like
true.
who's me type of a thing. But if I was to be with someone that didn't, they would just have to be more open, more um understanding, like that more thing, more open, more understanding. Of course, they have to like kids because I couldn't be the type of woman to be with someone knowing that like, oh, I'll date you, but I'm not accepting your kid. Like, no, like that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I wouldn't want you to meet my child off back until I know we're serious. You know what I'm saying? Like that has to be a thing too. Like, if I was we would have to be serious, like for me to introduce you to my child. But
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
It has
you
to
know what I'm
be like,
saying? Because I'm not bringing just anybody around there, or just you know what I'm saying. Like I would have to know what type of person you are way before you and my kids. So that wouldn't even be a worry that they
yeah.
would have to worry about. But yeah, like my preference would be at this time and age would be like just someone that I say about one. I got one, you got one. You know what I'm saying? Like two
Because
perhaps, but one and one is great. you know,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like because they would like really understand like it's a difference between somebody that like I mean me personally my own experience like I am a different person from when I didn't have kids.
Right.
So me personally I say it's a difference from when a person has a kid and when a person doesn't have a kid because I experienced that myself. Like I've changed to a person where I would say I would prefer you not to have kids, but to where like no you gotta like if I were to ever take that position again, I would be like you gotta have kids like
Right.
so yeah. I mean you definitely do just have to understand.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a childish thing to be like, oh yeah, I don't date somebody that have kids. But I do just kind of understand where they're coming from because I was like
Right.
that.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? I definitely understand it because that was me. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like don't shame. Like if that's just not
Oh
your
no,
cup of tea, cool. Like it's the whole thing with like I'm
you
not
definitely
comparing this because this is a whole nother topic. But like even with the black men trying to say they don't like black women. Like listen, like I have my whole feelings on that. But if that's your preference, cool. You don't gotta shade like come at black women. It's like obviously you must be obsessed with us because you're coming at us. You know what I'm
oh
saying? Like
I get and then most of those men are like are like dark shade like our shade and it's
listen,
just
Kim, we gonna have a we I'm actually gonna have a discussion about that on a whole nother.
and,
It'd be
and I'm
more of
like
them that be coming
who
at that. And
do you think made your black behind
right,
what uh,
do
uh,
you not love your mom? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
yeah
that's like a whole nother thing. But I learned that okay, they have self-hate. It's self they feel a way
yeah
about themselves,
yeah
because they're the main ones that do it. Don't get me wrong, there are dark skinned men, brown skinned men out there that love on a black women, but
yeah
the ones that shame the most are the ones that are like that. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like cool, like if that's what you want, and this is how I see it. I don't want anything that doesn't want me. So I feel like if you are like, they can have you. Like I'll take you to them myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, keep them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the type of energy or the type of man I want to be mixed with or involved with or cool with or anything like that. So even like a man that's coming at a woman, like just bashing women that have kids, listen, the women that don't, please take them because you're not a cool person at heart because you're bashing somebody else. So you already got like a messed up demeanor within yourself. So you shouldn't even be around. You shouldn't be with anybody if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? So cool. That's one less man that we need to be worrying about type of a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Very true. Yeah, I definitely 100% agree. Like, bashing single moms is just like, I think, like, I really I don't understand where it would come from. I really wouldn't understand where it would come from because most of us have experienced or have seen that, growing up, have seen a mom. It could be an aunt, it could be a cousin, it could be your older cousin, it could be, a dad, it could be, like my my dad was a single dad. Like, so it's just like, it wasn't by choice. My mom passed away when I was 2, God rest my.
sorry to hear that, Kim.
But yeah, my dad was a single dad. And yeah, I don't think it was. I've never asked him. I never really asked him, like, did people, like, how did people accept your kids? Like, how did you going, like, him going back out into the world after, like, I guess, like, cause when you never get over something like that with your wife,
Right.
but when
Yeah.
he got into the world, how did they accept it? But I did have a stepmom at one point, and
Okay.
she had 3 boys,
Okay.
and
Right.
even though they're not together anymore, I still consider her kids my step kids.
Right.
I guess she would still call me her stepdaughter. I don't know, but she was pretty good until she wasn't. But that's another story. But
Right.
she was like, she accepted me and my brother very, like, she really did. Like, she would do my hair. She would take me to school.
That's
She
good.
accepted.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, before, like, when my dad was a single dad, before her, I didn't know anybody else,
Okay.
and after her, it it really wasn't nobody else like that. So,
Right.
I think that, um yeah, to bash a single parent, male or female, is just like I said, you don't understand, you don't know their circumstances.
Yeah. You
My
don't.
mom, my mom had, passed away, so my dad had no choice but to step up and be a single dad.
Mhm.
So to bash anybody who is in that position, you know, yeah, you don't know what you don't know what happened.
Right. Thanks for sharing
I
that with us, Kim.
imagine I'll be talking about this this morning, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that with us. But no, you're right. Like you don't know the circumstances. Like I said, sometimes women and men can be married, get divorced, and they're single, considered single mom, single dad. So you don't know their circumstances, or anything could happen to why someone has to be by themselves and have to raise their kids by themselves. So the least that we need is to put stress and have them second guessing their life, or have them
yeah.
regretting why they had kids. Like that's the least that we shouldn't be able to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I remember having a friend that used to like post, and this was before I even had, like, I was even a mom, and it used to be like, oh, it was always every single day. Thank God I don't got no kids, like every day. And I just had to like really talk to him, okay, like what is that, like a life goal to live by? Like is that like one of your biggest accomplishments, that every single day you have to write on Facebook that you don't have kids? Like, what are you trying to like do there? Are you trying to make other dads feel bad? Like I just had to like really ask him. And he opened up, and it was very harmless, like of his reason of why he was doing it. But I kind of just gave him, like, sometimes that stuff could come off as insensitive. Like, I get it, keep doing it if that's what you're doing, but I could see with someone like, okay, like, why is this constantly like, or do you think you better? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is this a
Yeah,
constant thing of why are we doing this, especially when you want to spread love and positive energy
exactly.
out? You know what I'm saying? And what I did notice also, sometimes there are women that are moms and ones and some that aren't. They also shade single moms as well. Like we got Summer Walker and um like Erica Mena, and some people be coming at like Chloe. And this is one thing I said with Chloe's situation. I said, when everybody was like, well, why she keep taking her baby father back, this and the third. Now here's the thing. I can get maybe the many times she took him back when he dogged her out. The first time I understood it, I'm like, some, she's just having a baby. She wants to fight for her family. I get that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes relationships go through its ups and downs, and there are many times where I could say speak for myself many times, like I'm not gonna say many times, but I could have been a what I'm saying, single mom if me and my partner didn't fight for our relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because you have those down times in your relationships that y'all could be apart. So I
Yeah.
understood where, like, that was her situation as far as she's dealing with cheating and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
she fought for her relationship.
Yeah.
She's a new mom. Like, she wanted to do it with the father. Like, I understood her in that aspect. And it's like, we shouldn't be shading her. Now, yeah, you know,
Absolutely.
when he did it a little further, like, I can say, okay, like, like messing with a friend and all that. That's where I kind of disconnected. But I'm saying, like, I know how it feels that where women can tend to try to work things out in their relationship, or
Very true.
regarding of what circumstances it was,
Mm-hmm.
you got to understand it.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, because I definitely understood, like, because, and then also, like, with Chloe, she, even though her dad had passed away, Rob Kardashian, and then that's when Bruce Jenner had came into their family. So I was like, maybe she want that family.
Yeah.
I'm saying that she never had it because due to her dad passing away when she was younger. I mean, she still saw that family because of Bruce Jenner,
Right.
but maybe that's what. Um not only was it Tristan Thomas being, the father of her kids, but it's also like, I want to have like a family, like one, like us have our kids and that. So, maybe it was just like a couple things because
Right.
I me neither. I don't know why she would stay for the third or fourth.
Right. All the other times I can't agree, but I could agree
Yeah.
why women tend to, and I think that's even with you and me, we're moms, and we have a maturity, we have a responsibility. I think things that we didn't know back then, like as far as like, oh, I want to stay with a man if he's doing this, or or I wouldn't do this, or I would walk away. Like now we could kind of put ourselves in people's shoes and kind of understand and say, listen, like, I get it. Like, I understand why people work things out. I understand it. Like,
Yeah. And then also with hers, um, because honestly, like I'm like, because I had to ask myself, like, why is like, wow, Chloe, like you really fighting for your relationship.
mhm,
So the girl, his first mother of his kids, Jordy, I think that Tristan Thomas really doesn't spend time with the son like that. So I think that like Chloe is scared, like, I want my daughter to have her dad.
right.
And
So she's
I want this,
pushing.
so she like it's so much, like I think she was past the relationship aspect, and it was more so like I'm fighting for my daughter with this. Like
Right.
I want him to be around her. Like I
Mhm.
want her to have that because you know I'm not saying bad about Tristan Thompson, but I do feel like that I think that he does not think about anything in a
Right.
full situation.
Just,
So yeah, he's
right.
very
Yeah.
messy. So I think that that's where Chloe was at. Like I think that like she's like I'm gonna fight, I'm
Right.
gonna fight.
And anybody could understand that. You know what I'm saying? When you have a kid, you tend to more so think about your kid than you think about yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like, anybody can, and I guess people that either may have not been through it, but are in situations where it's like, listen, that could be me. Like, that,
yeah,
that could be me trying to fight for it. Like you could understand where she's coming from in a way.
mm-hmm.
And that's why even with these single moms where they're with these men and they have kids with these guys and they're not with them no longer, you could still tend to understand that. Listen, that could be me. Like,
Very
who am I
true,
to judge? Like, I can't judge nobody.
very true, very true. I agree, 100%. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about? I know we kind of going into celebrities, but what are your thoughts about the whole Erica Mena situation with Safari?
Well, yeah, like Yeah, I really had followed their journey, like from them being on that other show when they met, and it was just like, yeah, I thought honestly, I thought they were good for each other. You know, from that last show that they were on, like he was really like head over heels for her. So for him to like change and to be the person that is not there by her bedside for her second kid, that's just really that's just really it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable because I honestly just I'm not gonna say that he's a loser. I don't know him. I don't know him personally, but I really feel like even like looking at the reunion on Love and Hip Hop and seeing like Erica Mena, she looks so skinny, and she like I lost weight from being stressed, from having to be like having to do everything, from having to be like a single mom, and she even said it herself. She was like, "You knew everything that I had to go through as a single mom, so why would you even put me in a predicament to be that again?"
Right.
So, yeah, it was sad to watch. It was really sad to watch. He's very insensitive.
No, he is, and he'll, you know, I'm. It's you. He's gonna get a taste of his like. It's just you gonna learn. Like you gonna sit somewhere and realize the more mature he's gonna become. He didn't have to do her like that. You know what I'm saying? And people like were trying to come at her like, oh, karma, this and the third, and it's like, no, like
What would be her karma?
right. Like y'all
I,
don't know her situation from where she was in her life at that time. And this was literally her husband. This ain't just a man she wasn't married to. This was her husband. So everybody keeps saying, like, oh well, why because she kept having these kids with him. That was her husband. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she didn't think that he was gonna turn out to be a cornball, basically. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so
pretty
it
much.
just yeah, it just goes back to like you kind of said, you don't know people's circumstances to be judging them or bashing them or
Yeah,
anything. You don't know their circumstances.
yeah, and then she said that I was on my hospital bed and he didn't care if I had the baby or not. I believed it
Mm-hmm.
100%. Oh my goodness, I 100% believe that because even though some people that have kids may not understand, like, okay, whatever, but people that have kids would hear that and be like, that is horrible,
Right.
horrible. And yeah, I believe that's how it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a sad place to be on, to be at the hospital about to have a kid, and you think the father of your child that you're having does not want you to have that kid.
It's crazy.
That that in itself is saddening. It
Mm-hmm.
really, like,
Crazy.
yeah, I do. It's really saddening. I feel for her.
Yeah. No, I do too. And just to all the single dads out there, the single moms out there, y'all are killing it. Y'all doing an amazing job out there. Just times where you may think that life is just you're taking care of your little ones. That's always a blessing. And but like I said, when it comes to just dating and anything like that, just you know like put it in God's hands. God is going to bless you
Yeah,
with that right person. um don't chase, don't run, don't worry, don't stress. The right person will come to you that's going to love you and love your kids.
very true. Very true. Yeah, because even before I had a Ayla, I've seen like my older, people that are older than me go through a couple things, and I'm just like, wow, like I would be like, you want me to call him? You want me to call him? Because how he gonna do this? Like I would, I would be like, no, 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 like I have to call him. I have to call
Right.
him. Like, so yeah, like it's just yeah, it's just yeah. Nobody should be judging somebody like that
Yeah.
at all.
Mm-mm.
Or because sometimes when a baby cries at 3 o'clock in the morning, you got to get up and you got to do that, and that's parent strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not a parent. Like that's parent strength. You can't judge somebody who have a kid. That's you. They have strength that you don't even have. You
Exactly.
haven't unlocked yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have not unlocked yet. So yeah. being judgmental over somebody who you don't even like, you don't have their strength yet. Yeah, it's just whack.
So whack. But no, this was definitely a good discussion. We gonna try to do live this week, this Friday? Okay. We're gonna try to do a live this Friday. But everybody, don't forget to go to our website, check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere. But this was a great conversation, Kim. I loved today. It was definitely great just being able to
I enjoyed it.
Talk about how we feel. But I'm just gonna close out in prayer. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for bringing us together today, Lord Jesus. Please just allow us to be able to inspire, encourage, uplift, encourage a mom out there, a dad out there, Lord Jesus, anybody that just stumbles across this video, Lord Jesus, or this audio version, Lord Jesus. Thank you for just bringing us together and allow us to just have a great week, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.